Okay, so I have a 2009 Chevy Traverse that I'm replacing the thermostat on. There's a really good video on YouTube. I think it's the guy that puts it out is like SSL Family Dad or something like that. He made a really good video on how to do this job. But on his particular Traverse, maybe he didn't have this, or maybe the bolt wasn't even there. Maybe it was just left out. He never mentioned anything about this. There's a 15mm bolt that goes after you take the three 10mm bolts out of your thermostat housing. Let me try and position this flashlight a little bit better. I'm working one-handed here. So here is your thermostat housing. There's three 10mm bolts that goes in your housing down here that he mentions taken out. I don't think he ever mentioned anything about this bracket that's actually like welded or made onto this thermostat housing tube right here. See that bracket, that L bracket sticking out like an S shape? That had a 15mm bolt in it. I'm trying to get down here and show you. So there's the hole. That bracket is just like welded onto the thermostat housing, the pipe. If I can get my camera to focus here, sorry, bear with me here. So there it is, this bracket right here. There's a thermostat pipe. This goes to the front of your car. That's like the intake hose that goes down, clear down to the bottom of the radiator. So radiator coolant is flowing this way into your engine when your thermostat opens. So this right here had a 15mm bolt in it that was harder than hell to get to. You almost can't see it, and you have to do it by feel to get your socket on there. And the best way that I got it out was I started it. I loosened up the bolt with one of these universal swivel joints, these knuckles, on stuck on the socket, and then this end goes on your ratchet, and it lets you get in there at a different, like a weird angle, because you've got very little room to work with in there. Obviously I got it out. It was not fun. It took a lot of patience. I was able to get like a better view on that from like standing over on like this side looking down. You can kind of see it sometimes, and then working like this way, kind of leaning this way, driver's side of the Traverse right here, and then also kind of working over here a little bit, trying to get an angle on it, but you really can't see it. It's so hard to see down in there. I hope this helps. I'm in the middle of this job. I've got the old thermostat out. I tried lightly sanding the surface down there. Right there, you can see some of that black gasket that was just stuck on there. It was hard to peel off. I'm trying to lightly sand it off and just make a smooth surface for the new gasket to adhere. And I've got some black gasket on the housing right there on the face of the housing, as you can see. So here is the new thermostat right here. There is a jiggle pin which allows air bubbles to get through and kind of bleed the system. And the jiggle pin was at like the 12 o'clock when I pulled the original one out. So like that, it came out that way. Here's the new one. Here is the old one. My old one did not have a gasket up top here. I've seen some videos where there was a gasket on this part, but mine, this is my old one. Here's the new one. You can see they're identical. The spring on my old one was easy to compress. Of course, I can't do it really one-handed, but getting two hands on there, you can really push that in. And the new one is very, very stiff. So I don't know. I really don't know what my problem was. I had heat in my Traverse, like super hot heat that would like almost burn your hand if you stuck it up by the vent. So maybe this was weak. My original one was weak, and it was allowing coolant to continually flow through my engine all the time and never really cool down in the radiator. It was always just flowing constantly. Maybe if my thermostat was so weak it just opened all the time. because I had great heat out of my car. It was super hot heat. It wasn't an issue where I had no heat at all. So I'm not even sure, because I was thinking if your thermostat is stuck closed, it wouldn't allow heat, hot coolant, to flow into your heater core hoses, which would be these here. It flows up out of your housing into your heater core. But I had heat, so maybe it was stuck open and coolant was always flowing. Anyway, my whole point of my video was to show you that bracket there that you have to get a 15mm bolt out of, and it's straight underneath the pipe, and it's so hard to see. That's the whole point. I hope this helped. Good luck.